All right, let's do it. We are now live. Hey, playa, welcome to another live stream here on my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Josh. Every single week, I make videos sharing tips, ideas, and stories teaching you how to be your best self. This live stream, we are going to focus on going back to school. Now, some of you are already in school. Reading some of the chat here before I jumped on, some of you guys started school in the beginning of August. Some of you are starting school in the beginning of September. Regardless, I think that the beginning of the school year is similar for most people in that there are a lot of things that you may have on your mind, or you may be struggling with, or things you just want answers for. So in this live stream, hopefully I'm going to provide the best kind of answers that I can. I want to hear from you guys. I want to answer your questions. So anything that's on your mind, anything that you're thinking about, make sure to ask those questions. This live stream is going to focus on the Q&A portion, the question and answers. So I want you guys to just type as many questions as you have in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer them. If you have a burning question that you want to get my attention for, that you need my answer for, there's always the super chat function. That's the little $ there next to the little bar where you're typing, and that super chat function is going to kind of put the message front and center. It's a donation to the channel, and it'll put your message front and center. I'll stop what I'm answering, stop what I'm doing, and answer your question directly. So if you want to support the channel and you want to get your question front and center, super chats are the best way to do that. So without further ado, I want to give shout outs to the early birds in the chat. Those are the people that jumped on here as soon as the chat began. So if you're in the chat right now, if you're someone that's watching, first off, hit the thumbs up on this video to show that you are enjoying it and you're excited about what we're going to talk about today. And then second, type hey in the chat, write your name, say hi, say something so that I can give you your own shout out. So shout outs for the people in the chat here. Michael Pro says, hey Josh, how's it going, Michael Pro? Y Aura is in here. Ravage for Savage, Rage FM, Jimmy Darshadon Soldier, Hunter Boyer, Clark Kent, Coriel T, Meow Meow Gamer, Supo Kid, good to see you, Supo Kid. Austin is in here. Donna the Gamer, Dono, always a pleasure to have you in here, man. Thanks for being a part of the Josh Speaks community. The Shocker is in here. Red Lightning is in here. Giselle Vega. Giselle Vega is a new channel member, guys. So everyone say hi to Giselle Vega. It's coming in fast. Tristan 7K. Dario is in here. BFF Schwad. Bella Forever. I said Tristan and Typhoon is in here. Who did I miss? Elle is in here. Matthew Breeden, Steph SW, BTCC fan, Gordon Tracy, Nigel Williams, Ash is Trash, Potato Boy Dave, Daniel Tree, ZNUF1 is in here. Austin is in here. Cool. So, guys, I'm super excited to be here. I want to answer as many questions as I can. So, I want you to start typing them out in the chat. First, I want to do a quick chat poll just to get a feel here for who's where and what's going on. Have you started school yet? I want you guys to write yes or no in the chat. I want to see a stream of yeses or nos in the chat if you guys have started school yet. I want to know who's back in school, who's already learning, and then who's getting ready to start in the next week or few weeks that are coming up. I'm curious to see how many of you guys are already back in school. And if you are, I hope you guys can hear all the noise outside, but if you guys are already back in school, that's cool. This stream is still going to be helpful for you because we're going to talk about some of the things that may be on your mind. So let's see. I asked you guys who started school yet. Jimmy says no. Tristan says no. Bella says no. I see no. Steph says yes, 2 weeks almost. Hunter says yes. Darius says no, I'm 30. Yeah, for some of you that are not in school, I think these tips will still be helpful. Michael Pro says yes. Faye says yes. Dono says welcome. Eora says yes. Jimmy says not yet, soon. Typhoon says nope. Bella says I start in the 3rd. Okay, cool. So September 3rd, you're back. Dono says graduated. Dono's already graduated. Giselle says no because I graduated. Yeah, if you guys graduated, write that in the chat too. I'm curious to know who's already done with school. Phoenix says yes, sir. 4 days in. Matthew says no GCSEs. Oh, that's going to be tough, man. Lewis says, hey, Josh. Coral says next Monday, though. Austin says not yet. Matthew says no. So, yeah, so there's a mix of you guys in here that haven't started school yet. Emma says, I'm done with high school, moving on to college or a job. You know, it was really quiet before I started. Now the sirens and the people mowing stuff, that's just how this works, right? And the motorcycles. Can't forget the motorcycles driving by. Guys, so if you guys have questions, it seems like there's a mix of people in here. Some of you haven't started school yet. I'm curious, guys, what's on your mind going back into school? And for those of you that have already graduated, I think you could be super helpful here too. to any questions that I'm answering, share your opinions as well. I'd love to have multiple perspectives for different questions here so that we can just help us people as much as we can. All right, so jumping into the first question here, Supo Kid says, "Hey Josh, my crush and me have recently started talking after I betrayed her trust. We're getting closer like we used to, but she's not sure she can trust me now. How can I make her trust me again?" Supo Kid, it's been a while since we talked, man. How you doing? I think when it comes to building trust or rebuilding trust with someone, especially after something happened that made things weird or awkward there, I think the way to kind of rebuild trust is you want to kind of get them to start to see you on a normal level again, right? Which means to distance you from the thing and the reason why they stopped talking to you in the first place. And one way to kind of go about doing that is to kind of, anytime you interact with them or see them, just casually say, "Hey, how's it going?" Keep conversation very brief, very simple. If you try to jump into why you guys stopped talking, that may cause them to lock up again. It takes people time to kind of rebuild their guard, to kind of rebuild their patience with someone that they kind of don't trust anymore. So they may be on the defense. They may be worried that you're going to say something or do something that's going to upset them. So try to just keep conversation very, very casual when you talk to them. One other thing you may want to think about doing to rebuild trust is try to talk more to their friends. If you can kind of get involved in their world and the people that they know, and they start to see that their friends are okay with you, then chances are it's going to be easier for them to be okay with you as well. Because they're going to start to feel like, okay, well, my friends don't have a problem with them. Maybe I shouldn't have a problem with them either. Let's see. Some more questions in here. Ravage for Savage says, "Josh, I kind of need help with my crush. We haven't talked to each other, but we acknowledge each other's presence. I'm trying to step forward and talk to her, but I'm shy at the moment." Ravage for Savage, I totally get where you're coming from on that. When you haven't really talked to your crush a lot, the idea of kind of starting that initial conversation, starting that initial kind of communication with them is scary, right? Because you don't know what to expect when you start talking to them. Are they going to like you? Are they not going to like you? Are they going to reject you? Are they going to think you're weird? I think that one thing you may want to really think about doing is this. I always say everything is small steps, and I think those small steps are going to play a key role here. And that key role is that when you do see them at the beginning of the school year, when you do see them in school at the start, ask them how their summer went. Say, "Hey, I've seen you around. I haven't seen you, I'm sorry. Since you're starting school, don't say I haven't seen you around, because clearly you haven't started school year. But you might want to say something like, "Hey, it's good to see you again. I feel like the two of us never really talked. I don't really know much about you. How was your summer? Did you do anything cool?" I think leading in with that kind of easy question of like, "How was your summer?" It's a softball question, right? Because everyone had a summer break. Everyone did something over summer break. So it's a softball question because it's just an easy conversation to immediately jump into. And it might be a way to kind of break the ice and break the tension between the two of you. They may say something like, "Yeah, summer was cool. I had a good time." Or, "Oh, I did this really cool thing over summer." And you can kind of follow up from there. But don't worry so much about, you want to play the long game here. You don't go in expecting like, I'm going to talk to my crush and they're going to immediately like me. You want to just get them comfortable with who you are. And if you're not comfortable talking to them, that's a good way with those small little steps. Elle says, "What's the best way to plan my homework?" Elle, this is a really good question. When it comes to planning homework, I think that, a lot of times, when you get a lot of homework, you start to think to yourself, okay, well, what should I tackle first? What should I tackle last? Should I do it all in one stretch? Should I space it out over time? Should I work on it with someone? Maybe someone in my class, we work on the homework together in a group. I think there are lots of different ways that you can tackle your homework. I think what you need to look at more so is, what are the challenges you run into when it comes to tackling homework? For example, are you someone that easily gets distracted? If that's the case, try to put yourself in an environment where you won't get distracted. Maybe that's not doing homework in your room where there's video games and TV and your phone and stuff. Maybe that's sitting at the kitchen table, or, going into the living room and, putting headphones on and listening to music while you do it. Try to find what the challenges are that you run into when it comes to doing homework and tackle those. Because like I said, it really all depends on what you're comfortable with. So Elle, if you want to follow up in the chat, write down there, when it comes to homework, what are some of the struggles you personally run into with it? Clark Kent says, "Since this is my sophomore year of high school, I have to take economics. I'm not very good at math, so I'm nervous. I was wondering if economics is a hard subject or is it just boring?" That's a good question, Clark. Personally, for me, I never really found economics to be too interesting. Like, I've always liked the idea of math, but I've never really enjoyed math class. So if you're someone that's like me and, yeah, math is fun, but once it starts getting really complicated, it's like, I want nothing to do with it. You may want to think about getting a tutor. Now, look, you're going to just start that class, so you don't know where you stand yet. But if you do feel like you're getting overwhelmed in the beginning, there's absolutely nothing wrong with reaching out and getting a tutor. I know so many people that had math tutors and science tutors in high school and in college especially, and it really, really helped them kind of learn subjects better, because sometimes for subjects like economics, it's not always easy to learn in a full class environment when there's a lot of people. Sometimes you learn better when it's just you and that teacher, or you and that tutor. Or if it's a matter of going on YouTube and watching videos to kind of help teach things that you may have learned in class, that might be another way to kind of really tackle a tougher subject like economics. So if you feel like you're struggling with that, like I said, there are different options for how to deal with it. I didn't find it too interesting. If you're into math, maybe you will, but most likely you probably won't find it too interesting too. Economics is a pretty dry subject. Just like Dono said there, I took economics in my junior year. There's math in it, but it's not bad. It's boring. Yeah, no. That's as real as you can get. Sonic Forces Plus Racing says, I go to a private school that is in the wing of a public school, and my school doesn't really interact with the main school. How do I try to talk to some of the people there? That's an interesting question, Sonic Forces. I think that if your school is kind of segmented and separated from the main school there, you may want to think about any opportunities or places where the two of you do cross paths, because, the students there probably go to the classes they have, and these students probably go to these classes. So you guys are kind of separated in that sense. But what I would recommend is this. It's that if there's maybe a point where you can go to the other side and get lunch there, or you see someone walking in the hallway and you can stop and have a conversation with them there. Another place too is after school is another opportunity, because even though the two halls are, the areas are segmented, kids are probably still hanging out after school, outside of school, waiting for the bus, waiting to go home. And that might be an opportunity to interact with people you don't normally interact with, and especially in a more casual type of setting, because, when you're in school, when you're in the actual building, there's always that idea of like, oh, am I going to get in trouble for hanging out and talking to people for too long? Do I have to go to my next class? But once school is done and people are hanging out outside of school, their guard comes down a little bit, so it might be easier for you to jump into a conversation with someone there. Let's see. Reading some more of what you guys are saying in here. Supo Kid says, hey Josh, I have no clue on what I want to do for a career when I'm older. How can I brainstorm ideas? That's a really good question, Supo Kid. I'm curious, guys. I want to do a chat poll here. How many of you guys feel like you know what you want to do when you get older? You can write yes or no. Yes, I know what I want to do. No, I don't really know what I want to do. How many of you guys feel like you have a handle on where you want to head forward in life and what you want to do? I remember when I was your age, Supo Kid. Hold on a second. I remember when I was your age, Supo Kid, I didn't have a clue what I really wanted to do just yet. It really took me time. I really started to discover what I wanted to do once I was in college and even post-college. I think when I was in high school, a lot of times I just felt like, I have interest in things, but I don't really understand how those interests can turn into a career path. And that was kind of the struggle I ran into. So I asked you guys, what are some of the things you'd want to do? Red Lightning says Creeper, so he's going to see if he can get a job at Minecraft. Y Aura says Electrician. That's a really cool job. Mr. Hobby says yes. BTCC fan says yes. Jimmy says, I do. I want to be an animator. That's awesome, Jimmy. That's a really cool job. Steph says yes. BFF Schwad says yes. I'm seeing a lot of yeses here, guys. Yes. Anthony, check your Discord. I sort of know what I want to do. Something to do with music. Okay, so I need to ask a follow-up question, guys. For all the people that wrote yes, what is it that you want to do? Write it in the chat. I'm curious to know what you guys want to do and where you see your life heading, or at least the direction you want to take it. Spy says become an EDM producer. That'd be pretty cool. Stuart says police officer. BCC says engineer. Awesome. Daniel Chi says yes. Adventure capitalist, baby. Own the world. Do you mean venture capitalist? Let's see. Giselle says CSI. That's a pretty cool field. Super Kid says my parents think an architect because I have interest in property drawing houses. Yeah, Super Kid. So to kind of go back to your question there, If you don't really know what you want to do, that's okay. You still have time to figure that out. Look, you have time to mess up. You have time to jump into something that you're interested in, realize it's not for you, and then jump into something else. You have that time. You're a pretty young guy, So what I would recommend doing is this. I think that if, like you mentioned, architect might be something you want to look more into, try to look up things about architects. See what type of jobs are out there, what architects can do. Like just type into Google, what type of work do architects do, or what type of jobs do architects get? And you'll learn a little bit more about what that may be like. You may want to also look up architect salary and to learn how much do architects make. Are there architect jobs in my area? Do I have to move somewhere else? Try to look up those basic things. I think getting an idea and doing as much research as you can about a job will help you get a better sense of where you stand in relation to it. So I asked you guys, what is it that you'd want to do? Mr. Hobby says, I want to go into law. That's really awesome, Mr. I feel like something stuck in my throat. Really awesome, Mr. Hobbies. Cheesy Boy says, I want to be a singer-songwriter. That's awesome. That's really cool. You guys got a lot of awesome job ideas here that you want to do. Matthew says, kit manager for soccer. That's pretty cool. Gabe says, basketball player. Cheesy Boy says, architects make a good wage. Yeah, architects make a lot of money. Depending on the level of architects, that is, too. Duck Darby says, I don't know. I want to be a police officer, pro gamer, or rapper. Those are three very distinctly different jobs, but I think that's really cool. Wolf Dog Wrestling says, I want to be a wrestler, but there isn't anything at my school or anything nearby. So Wolf Dog, I'm assuming you mean like pro wrestling, right? Like WWE style? Because I see your avatar thing is WWE. Sorry. One thing you may want to look into is wrestling schools in your area, right? So depending on where you live, there may be pro wrestling schools that you can start training at. I know some schools where people train at even as young as like 16. I've seen 16-year-old wrestlers training. So look in your area, type in independent wrestling schools in your area and see if there's anything local you can jump onto. Bella Forever says, I want to do a job that will inspire others. That's awesome, Bella. I'm with you on that boat too, guys. Like, my kind of overall goal here is to take everything I do with the Josh Speaks and to kind of make it my full-time thing, to dedicate my life to helping other people, be their best selves and really learn how to be somebody great. Part of that is working with you guys, working with people like that are young, people that are in that stage where they're trying to figure themselves out, trying to figure out what they want to do, and kind of inspiring you guys to go after that, to recognize that it's okay to make mistakes, it's okay to ask questions, and it's okay to be scared and to not know what you want to do just yet. Life is really all about figuring it out, and I want you guys to realize that. Dono says animator. Oh, Lava Speed says maybe a novelist or an engineer. That'd be pretty cool. Not being a novelist is cool. All right, guys, back into questions here. Any other questions you guys have? Let's jump in. Back to school questions. Let's see if I can answer them. Bella Forever says, how can I not get nervous when I sit in front of the classroom? I feel like everyone is staring at me and then I can't focus. So how can I keep calm and remain focused when sitting in the front? Bella, I totally get where you're coming from there. One of my concerns always with being in class was if I raised my hand, if I spoke, people would look at me and they'd think I'd weird, right? So a lot of times you want to kind of blend in, not make a scene, not really be noticed in school. But here's the thing. Here's something that it took me a long, long time to realize. Most of the students are more focused on how everyone else is looking at them than they are looking at you. Meaning, if you're sitting in the front of the class, right, if you're just kind of sitting there, normally you're just a student like everyone else, they're probably more concerned with, oh my God, like I didn't do the homework, or I got to study for the test, or I'm going to be with my friends later, I want to buy this new video game. Their concerns are all over the place and they're not always looking or thinking about you. So if you're sitting in the front of the class, that should hopefully kind of give you a bit of peace of mind, because it should help you realize like, wow, they don't really care too much that I'm here. That's not the center of their world. And I think one thing you can realize too is that there's nothing wrong with being there and sitting there in the front of the class. It's totally normal, right? Students sit in all different rows, different areas of the class. So, I don't think you should ever feel embarrassed or weird or nervous about it. Just like I was scared about raising my hand and talking in class, it was only much later that I realized, yeah, but all these other students raise their hand and talk in class, and I don't think twice about it, right? So the same way that I don't think twice about it, why would they think twice about it from me? A lot of times we always feel like people's eyes are on us. We feel like people are just paying attention to us. But the truth of the matter is that people are so much more concerned with a million other things going on in their days. All right, let's see what else you guys said here. Donna says, I hate when teachers force students to read out loud in front of class. It makes me feel sorry for those who can't read as well. Yeah, Donna, I think that's something that a lot of teachers don't think about too. There are some people that have trouble reading, some people that have dyslexia, and when you're kind of forced into a situation where you need to participate, I don't ever think that's good. I think it's puts a lot of stress on that student, puts them on the spot, which is never a good thing to do. It's okay to push someone to motivate them, but you have to recognize where people's struggles and challenges are, and you have to work with them through that. Jimmy Darshadon Soldier, I think I said that right, says, how do I pay attention in class? That's a good question, Jimmy. I'm just like you too. When I was in school, I'd find myself thinking about a million other things. My mind would wander. It was hard to pay attention. But one thing that I tried doing was this. It's that, and this is something I started to implement in college to try to focus and pay attention more. As my teacher taught, right? So as my teacher kind of like wrote things on the board or spoke to the class, what I would try doing is this. I'd have a little paper next to me where I would doodle. And when I found myself getting bored, I would just draw something really, really small. Didn't take me a long time. Like I draw a little tree or something, or I draw, Spider-Man or something really simple. And then after I did that little drawing, I jump back to paying attention. I think what happens is that you find yourself getting distracted or you find yourself getting bored, and you kind of just follow that boredom away, and you never allow yourself to come back to focusing on class and on the teacher and everything. So I think you have to kind of, if you find yourself pivoting and thinking about something else, be in that moment for a second. Like I said, drawing is a good thing to do. Draw a little star, or draw a little picture of Galactus, I don't know, and then go back to paying attention. Try to do that little shifting technique. It might help you focus more and pay attention more. That's just one technique that I would try in college, and it worked out somewhat well for me. Hunter Boy says, Josh, please help. What do I do to get to know / meet this girl at my school? She's cute. I see her a lot, and every morning I go to the school library. She sits next to me. Hunter Boy, here's my advice for you. I think that what you want to do is this. If you see this girl every single day and you talk to her, you're not really even talking to her, you're just kind of next to her. I think what you should try to do is this. The next time you're sitting next to her, turn to her and say, hey, we sit next to each other all the time. I don't think we've ever talked before. What's your name? Did you do anything cool over summer break? Or random question, but what's a really good movie to watch on Netflix? Like, jump into a question like that so you can just start a conversation. You just have something going with her. I don't think she's going to be weirded out because, look, you sit next to her every single day. It's only natural that at some point the two of you may interact with each other. So just turn to her and casually start that conversation. That might be a good segue into just getting to know her better. And you don't have to worry about having a long conversation with her. Just any kind of conversation where you're talking to her, I think, is going to help break that tension and break the ice and normalize the fact that the two of you communicate with each other. Let's see what some more of you guys are saying. Spy Gabriel says, for the years I've been in school, Josh, my past and current teachers only check my homework to make sure I did it, not to check to see if I did the work right. Yeah, look, that's a symptom of the school system, right? I think it's teachers, think about it like this, right? Let's say a teacher has 3 or 4 classes. Each class has like 25 students in it, and every night they assign homework, and they have to read through all of those pages of homework. It's a lot of work for teachers, and you do that day after day after day. So sometimes teachers take shortcuts and they kind of just, hit the mic. They kind of just casually skim over the work and stuff. That doesn't mean you should try to take advantage of that and just fake the homework, but try your best, because realistically, the purpose of the homework is to help you try to see if you understood the material. I know homework may not be the best way to do that. There's a lot of research that says that homework actually isn't helpful, but I think currently in the system we're in, that's the best thing you can do. If your teachers are not checking your work, still try your best to answer it, and that's all you can really do, I guess. Ashes Trash says, I tried doodling in class as I was bored, but I just got told off by the teacher and rumors were spread about me. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Ash. That sounds like a pretty bad experience. I'm curious why would rumors be spread about you? Unless you were drawing something that was inappropriate in some way, but I can't imagine why. I don't really know why, but I'm sorry to hear that happening, man. Jack Crucy says, hey Josh, I need your help with something. I sent you a DM on Instagram. If you could DM me back as soon as possible, that would be fantastic. All right, Jack. So here's something I want to say, guys. So I've been getting a lot of DMs lately. A lot of DMs on Instagram, messages on Snapchat, messages on Facebook, everything. I'm trying my best to answer as many messages as I can, but I'm just one person, so I can only do so much. So what is the best way to contact me? Well, here's what I would say. If you are interested in talking to me one-on-one, if you have a situation that you want to talk to me one-on-one about, you can always become a patron on Patreon. On Patreon, I have different tier levels set up. So there's the supporter level, which is the $1 level, and that's just to kind of help support the channel. The $5 level is a community level. This allows you to kind of join our monthly group hangout chats with people that, are also community members there. And you could talk, you could talk to me and a few other people that are also in similar situations. Or for the $10 champion level, that's a one-on-one conversation we can have every month. I just did a few champion calls with people this week, and it's really awesome. We get to kind of really dedicate a good amount of time to just talking about what's going on in your life. It's always fun to check in and really try to work with people on that. So that's something I definitely think that you may want to think about doing. If I don't get to your DM, guys, that's the best way to do it. So I'm going to write out the URL here. It's patreon.com/thejoshspeaks. If you're interested, I know someone signed up today as a champion level member, so that's pretty cool. Donna says, Josh, you should hire an assistant to go through your messages. I know, right? Like, I really need someone to help me go through, because part of the challenge there is that it's like, some people write really, really long, detailed messages like, hey, here's everything that's going on. And I just don't have the time to, one, sit and read the entire message and then give a full in-depth response. So it's difficult because I have over 100 of those full-length messages. It makes it a bit difficult. Another place you guys can go for advice, for help, for guidance is the Discord. Anthony just shared the link right there. That Discord is our Josh Speaks community. There's a lot of amazing people in there that are super, super helpful, that will offer advice, that will offer guidance, and kind of help you guys with whatever you need if I'm not available. I think it's a great way to kind of really join a community that wants to help each other grow. All right, back to questions, guys. Here, Stuart says, just want to let you know I became a champion tier patron. Oh, Stuart, that was you then. Yep, Stuart, thank you so much for being a champion level patron, man. I truly, truly appreciate it. I'm going to reach out to you and see when we can set up our one-on-one video chat. Footy Beast says, Josh, I was speaking with this girl, but found out that she had told one of my best friends that I was boring. What do you think I should do next? Because I really am down about it. Yeah, man, I hear you on that. Look, if the girl that you like feels like you're boring and she's kind of told your friends that, you have two options. One option is you can try to change her perspective by talking to her, by showing her that you're not boring, by interacting with her, making her laugh, joking around with her. There's a bunch of different ways to kind of just change your perspective that way. And then the other option is to kind of take it as a defeat and say, she clearly doesn't like me. Let me move on. Let me focus on other people. I would recommend trying to change her perspective, because if she says that you're boring, it's possible she doesn't really know you all that well. Maybe she's only had a few brief interactions with you and she's judging based on that. So if you want to change her perspective on you and change her perspective overall, start talking to her, show her that you're a fun guy, put your personality and confidence on display. I have a bunch of videos that can definitely help you do that, and how to have fun with someone, how to make them laugh, how to flirt. Check out those videos. I think they'll be super helpful for you. Phoenix says, yo, Josh, I've been talking more to this girl in my AP US history class, and my friends keep telling me to get with her, but neither of us want to. How do I tell them to back off? I hear you on that. So there's a girl that you're cool with. You're just friends, but your friends obviously are doing what friends do, and they're like, hey, dude, you should get with her. You should hook up with her. You should go out with her. I think the best thing to do is this. It's that your friends they're going to keep teasing you. They're going to keep doing that. That's in the nature of friends, right? Like, they do everything they can to embarrass you a bit. But if you want to kind of change that setting, you want it so that they're not doing that. One thing you might just want to think about doing is whenever they make comments or say something to you, just kind of have a very bored reaction to it. Be like, dude, we're just friends, man. That's really it. And if they keep saying stuff, just be like, yeah, I mean, you said that already. It's nothing special. We're just friends. Keep reiterating that. Keep saying that over and over. And eventually, once they see that you're not getting upset or bothered by it, or you're not playing into what they're saying, they're going to kind of just stop because the joke isn't going anywhere. And when the joke's not going anywhere, they're not going to want to make it anymore. A Gamer says, Josh, I start school on Tuesday and only have one class with my friend in second semester. How can I meet shy girls if there aren't many? Also, friends. So, A Gamer, I think that if you're in that type of situation where, you're kind of by yourself, your friends are not in your class, and, you don't really know what to do to kind of like make new friends. You're kind of in that boat where I'm shy. I hope I can interact with other shy people. I think what you should do is this. Take a sip of water, and then if you want to kind of break out of that shyness, give yourself a very small goal to follow every single day. That small goal can be something like, you know what? I'm going to try to say hi to one new girl every single day. Just hi. Not even have a full conversation. Just, hey, how's it going? As I make eye contact with her, just pass her in the hall. Hey, how's it going? Give yourself that small goal. If you feel like you can match up to that goal and you can keep with it every single day, then up that goal and say, you know what? Beyond hi, I'm going to try to start a conversation with a girl. One girl every single day. That's it. And keep upping that goal, and you'll start to see that you're going to break down your shyness because you're really putting your confidence on display by pushing yourself to achieve small steps. And those small steps lead to big actions. Justin Cummings says, hey, Josh, I'm starting a job as a busboy on Saturday, and I'm nervous. So Justin, you're starting a job as a busboy, and you're pretty nervous about it. Yeah, I hear you on that, man. Starting a new job is always scary because you're going to have to interact with people. You don't know what to expect. Being a busboy can be challenging at times, right? Because you might have a lot of people to kind of deal with, a lot of people coming and going, a lot of people asking questions, but one thing that I think you should remember is this, is that if you have questions, if you have concerns, there are probably people there at your job that you can turn to and ask for help, ask for, you can pass questions along to them. And I want you to know this, guys, because most likely with any job you're going to get, after you've been doing it for a month or so, you're going to kind of get comfortable with it. You're going to get used to it, and it's not going to be as scary anymore. So I think you can look forward to the certainty that eventually it's not going to be as scary. So I think try to remember that as you go into this job. Doesn't mean that the fear till Saturday is going to go away, but I think that I think we should do is this. And there you go. See, Donna's catching what I'm always stay hydrated. Donna's catching what I'm throwing here. I love some of that sweet water juice. Yo, this sweet water juice is the bomb, man. But like I said, allow yourself to have that certainty that eventually you're going to get the hang of it and it's not going to be as difficult, scary. These people making all this noise outside. But that's what I would recommend. I remember when I started my first job, I was totally nervous too. I was afraid I was going to mess things up. And then after a while, you kind of get into the flow of things. It's similar to going back to school. Like that idea of going back to school is like, what's going to happen? But once you get into the rhythm and flow of things, it just kind of flows naturally. All right, let's see what the rest of you guys are saying here. Wolf Dogs Wrestling says, the school years that just been, pretty much last school year was the best one of my life. How do I make this one even better? That's a good question, Wolf Dog. If you feel like you just had the best school year of your life, how do you top it? Well, here's what I would recommend. If you want to have a better year this year, spend more time with people that you care about and people that you feel are going to help you grow. That's really the key to having, I think, a good life. Surrounding yourself with people that you feel are going to lift you up, that are all about positive experiences and having good times. Like, those are the kind of people you want to be around. And I think that if you prioritize that this year, you prioritize spending time with your friends, prioritize your schoolwork, prioritize time with a girlfriend or boyfriend, or just pursuing someone. Prioritize personal time, relaxation time. You kind of make time for each of those areas of your life. You're going to feel like this year is going to be the best one yet. Trust me on that, man. All right, Red Lightning says, Josh, I'm talking to my ex, and I'm talking to my ex prom, the ex for prom, okay, And I asked if she still wants to go. Still, she said she doesn't know if she's allowed. I don't know what to do. Josh, please help. Okay, so Red Lightning, I remember your situation, Arby. I know what's going on there. I think that if she's not really sure what she can do just yet, whether or not she can go, one thing you may want to think about doing is telling yourself, hey, look, if she can't go, is there someone else I can ask? Am I okay with going alone? Do I want to just go with friends? Try to have a backup in mind, especially since her answer is kind of up in the air right now. But it may take time. It may take time for her to get comfortable talking to her parents about it or asking her parents. Or, look, she may change her mind last minute. Like I said, I think to best prepare yourself, try to think of what your alternative is, whether that's asking someone else, whether it's going with friends, going alone, or just not maybe going at all. Try to think about what the second best option is for you. Zoman says, hey Josh, I like this girl at school, but do you think there's no point because people come and go, especially when going to different high schools? What do you think? That's a good question, Zoman. Here's how I look at it. I think that when it comes to relationships, especially relationships when you're in like middle school or high school and you're younger, I wouldn't worry so much about, and a lot of you guys kind of bring this up, but I wouldn't worry so much about the idea of relationships lasting forever. Right? I would say get rid of this idea of forever or even a long time in your mind. You're young, you're in a place of learning and growing. You know, like you may like someone and you guys may go out for a month and then you break up, or you may go out for 2 months and you break up. A lot of people are hesitant about dating because they're like, oh, well, what's the point if we're each gonna go to another school in a few years? It's like there's no point because the relationship won't last. What matters most is that you're enjoying your time then and there with that person. Guys, take it from me. When I was in high school, my very first girlfriend, we were going out, we broke up, and then later on, I was going to ask her out again. I wanted to go back out with her, but the reason why I didn't was because she was moving. And I told myself, well, what's the point? We're going to have a long-distance relationship. It's not going to work out, right? But it's like, instead of going out with her and spending time together for those few months before she moved, I just didn't spend it all. And it's like, it's something I came to regret because it's like, well, why not just enjoy the time that you have with someone when you have it? Why does everything have to be viewed in this kind of, well, is it going to last forever lens? You guys are young. You're going to make impulse decisions at times. Things are going to change in your life. Really, you should just focus on just enjoying things as they are. Let's see. Reading some more what you guys are saying. If you haven't already, hit the thumbs up on this video. I do want to take a quick break here to say, if you guys are not following me over on Instagram, you definitely should. My Instagram is @thejoshspeaks. And the reason why you guys should follow me there is because I'm going to be doing my Instagram after party. Follow me @thejoshspeaks. What is the Instagram after party? I'm sure a lot of you guys already know. Instagram after party, after this live stream, I jump over live on Instagram, and it's a more casual, laid back chat. So if you're someone that, if you're someone that wants to jump on and video chat with me, that's your opportunity to do it. I like to bring on new people there and we have a good time. So all the cool kids are in the Instagram after party. I think you should come join. It's the party right after this one, guys. So I want to get another chat poll going here, guys. I want to ask you guys a question. When it comes to kind of being back in school, or even for those of you guys that have already graduated, do you feel, because someone asked this earlier, I want to ask you guys, what do you feel has been the best year of your life in terms of school? Was it senior year for you? Was it freshman year? Was it being in middle school in 8th grade? Was it your college years? What was your best year of school? The year that you felt like you just had so much fun and you just really, really enjoyed. Looking back for me during my high school years, it's like I probably would say my senior year was probably my favorite because classes were starting to simple down. They were becoming a little bit more simpler. They were simplifying. That's what I'm looking for. They were starting to become more simple, and I had more time to hang out with my friends. We were seniors, so we were okay with traveling and after school and doing things. And it was just fun to kind of spend time with those people. So I'm curious for you guys, what do you feel has been your best school year, your most fun school year that you've experienced so far? Steph says fourth year middle school. Cool. Donna says fourth grade. Fourth grade, Donna. What did you do in fourth grade that was so much fun, man? I'm curious. Rabbit says eighth grade was the best. BFF Schwartz says middle school, seventh grade. Matthew Jackson says freshman year. Naja says 2017 was the best year she had. Mr. Hobby says it's going to be this one. I agree, Mr. Hobbies. I hope this year's your best year, man. Cheesy Boy says last year was pretty epic sauce. I did so well on my test, and I got an A already and 7 and 9 in my subjects. That's awesome, man. Good to hear that. Giselle Vega says 2018. Cool. Dono says, I hated middle school and I only enjoyed my senior year of high school. I hear you on that, man. So fourth grade was kind of the most favorite year. Things were a lot simpler back then. Stuart says S4 in the UK, so that's when you're 15. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know some of you guys are in the UK and stuff, so 8th grade is not 8th grade or something over there. It's different. Michael Pro says first, second, and third year. Cool. Red Lightning says 8th grade Pocono trip. Oh, awesome, man. It's cool you went to the Poconos. Donna says, my teacher in the 4th grade was so damn awesome. She made school enjoyable. I hear you on that, man. For me, I had a really awesome 5th grade elementary school teacher. That was just really cool. Let's see. Emma says, my favorite year is my senior year because I had dance parties on the bus with my friends. That's cool. That's really cool. Phoenix says probably last year. My sophomore year, I'm determined to make my junior year the best. Definitely, man. Junior year is going to be a hard year. It's a lot of work, but it's going to be the best year, man. You're going to have a great time. Ashley Trash says year 10. Footy B says year 8. Cheesy Boy says UK, you have year 1 through 11 and then college. Okay. So it's a bit different there. Bot Zoid says, Josh, this is going to be my best year. I'm with you on that, Bot Zoid. I hope this year is your best year, man. I really believe in you. All right, more questions, guys. I'm curious to see what more you guys are saying. I want to help you guys as much as possible. If you find this video to be helpful so far and you haven't already, hit the thumbs up on it. And like I said before, if you have a burning question, something you want to ask me that I haven't answered yet, and you want to ask the question while also supporting the channel, you can also use the super chat function down below. That's the little $sign next to the chat area. Through there, you could donate $1, $2, whatever it may be, and it'll put your question front and center in front of me to answer. Cheesy Boy says year 10 equals 15 years old. Okay, so 15 is what I think sophomore year or so, freshman year. I'm not really sure in America here. Dario says sophomore year was pretty much where I enjoyed the talent show and performed Michael Jackson, Billie Jean for a solo dance. Awesome, man. That's really cool. Stuart says in Scotland you have primary 1 to 7, then secondary 1 to 6. Interesting. Mr. Hobby says, I've been in this school for 2 years and I haven't made any friends. I now want to because I started hanging out with friends from my old school and it made me realize how lonely I was. How do I do this? I hear you on that, man. So you've been at this school for 2 years. You haven't really made any friends. It's been kind of difficult for you. I get where you're coming from on that. It's not always easy to make friends. Sometimes it depends on the environment that you're in. Sometimes you're in a place where people just aren't friendly, or you're in an environment where everyone's already clicked off, right? They have gone into their own little groups and you feel like you're kind of on your own. One thing you may want to think about doing is try to focus on introducing yourself to groups and asking group questions. That might be a way to break the ice with them. So like I'd mentioned before, asking something simple like, let's say you walk up to a group and you're like, hey guys, let me get your opinion on something. What's a really, really good TV show to binge watch? Like, ask around the whole group and you'll get different answers from people. And that might be a way to introduce yours. No, I keep burping. Shouldn't have eaten that oatmeal before this. All right. Water saves everything. So, that might be a good way to kind of jump in and really kind of like introduce yourself to people or start a conversation with them or just get them familiar with who you are. So I would focus on trying to do that. I think that might be the direction you may want to take and the way that you can kind of go about introducing yourself to people and kind of starting new friendships and see where they go from there. Let's see. Dario says, what's better, close relationships or long distance relationships? That's a good question, Dario. Personally, I would say close relationships are better. If the person's in proximity and there's someone that you can date that's close, someone that you can date that you have access to seeing in person, that's better. Doesn't mean long distance relationships are impossible or they just don't work. It's just a lot more difficult to maintain. So that's something you may want to think about if you're ready to jump into some kind of a relationship. And Josh gave on to them the water of life. Anthony says, not necessarily. You can get the person's number to talk to them on the phone. I'm assuming that was in response to something that I may have missed. Where's our ASMR water drinking? It's coming, guys. You're going to get that ASMR. I'd rather burp with my mouth closed. I'm totally lost here. All right. Let's see. More questions you guys have for back to school. Let's get through them. Jack Cruzy says, hey, Josh, there's this girl I really like. I'm only 15, so I don't really want to date right now, but I want to become good friends with her. But she doesn't seem super interested. What can I do? Please help. Okay, Jack, good point there. So you are not ready to date yet. You want to kind of take it slow, get to know people first, and that's totally fine. You know, like a lot of people feel the need and the desire to rush into dating someone. In fact, that's what my video next week is all about, why you should never rush into dating someone. But I think when it comes to taking time to get to know someone as a friend, first and foremost, what you should focus on doing is learning more about them or asking more questions about them. Like you said, though, she doesn't seem super interested in doing that. So that's something you may want to take into account too. When you talk to her, when you ask her questions, when you try to get to know her, what's her response like? Is she responsive? Is she just not really talk much to you? Does she kind of keep to herself? Really try to think about what's going on there and what's on her mind and why she may not be responding. So are you catching her at a bad time? Is she around her friends? If you ask her basic questions, does she kind of just give you short answers? If she's giving you those short answers, maybe she's just not interested, and it might make more sense to kind of move away from the idea of developing something with her. So that's what I would really recommend doing. Tell Me says, is it good to join people in school? I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Do you mean join them in school as in hanging out with them when they're in groups at school? Do you mean like join them in activities at school? I think that if you find yourself in a position where you don't really know anyone or there's no opportunities to meet someone in school, there's always clubs, there's always groups, there's always activities, things going on that you can kind of just start to introduce yourself to. Man, I got to put something up to cover this, create a bit of shade here, because look at this, all these lines on my face from the light. Anthony says, I'm in a long distance relationship, but something that is true is that if you could learn to love when you're apart, you will be unstoppable when together. Anthony, I love that. I love that so much. Like I said, long distance relationships aren't impossible. It's totally possible to make them work. The reason why I say it's difficult is because you have to kind of make up for the things that you don't have, which is seeing them in person, right? You have to kind of make up for that lost time and lost connection, and you have to kind of double down when you're talking to them on the phone or video chatting with them because you don't have that in-person connection that, you know, physically present in front of you that just makes things work. Cheyenne Hall says, how do you get someone to ask you to homecoming? I have 2 crushes and I don't know who to choose. Let me reread this. All right. Cheyenne Hall says, how do you get someone to ask you to homecoming? I have 2 crushes and I don't know who to choose because my friend likes one of them like I do. The other found out I like him today. Cheyenne, that's a good point. So, yeah, I could put a towel up probably to cover those shades. Cheyenne, if you like these 2 people and you're not really sure who to choose, what I would recommend is this. And this is something I say for prom, for homecoming, for any dance that's coming up, guys. If you want to know who to go with, try to talk to them and hang out with them before that event. A lot of people wait until the month before, a week before, and they think to themselves, well, you know what? I'm just going to ask them then. But I personally believe that if you want to figure out who to go with, you should try to hang out with them beforehand. If the 2 of you can spend time together one-on-one, then you're going to easily start to see that, you know, hey, like I actually get along with this person. I actually connect with this person. And that's something you definitely want to pursue and work towards because, look, the last thing you want is to ask someone at the last minute and then you guys go to homecoming and it's awkward and it's weird and you can't really converse because you don't know what to talk about. If you kind of get over those awkward steps earlier on and you hang out with them, then by the time homecoming comes around, it's a lot easier to just ask them to go with you. Now, in your case, Cheyenne, where you're not sure who to choose between, I would say spend time hanging out with both of them individually. That's how you're going to really get to know who you connect with better. Now, there is that added factor that your friend does like one of them, and that makes things a bit weird. So maybe your friend wants to go with one and you go with the other. That's something you may want to think about pursuing. But like I said, spend time hanging out with both of them before homecoming comes around, because that's the only way you're going to kind of make homecoming just go super smoothly without any awkwardness. Abdurrahim Bell, if I said that correctly, says, if you love a girl and you have no courage to tell her, and I don't know what I can do, what I can and tell her the truth. Okay, I think what you're trying to say maybe is that you really like this girl and you want to tell her, but you don't have the courage to do so. So, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys already know my perspective on telling someone how you feel. I think instead of telling someone how you feel, you should show them how you feel. How do you show them how you feel? Well, you do that by taking time to get to know them, by learning more about them, by flirting with them, by asking them to hang out, by spending one-on-one time with them. And then eventually you may want to lead into, I think you're really cool. I really like you. We should go out sometime. It really takes time, guys. It really takes time to get to know someone better. And if you don't have the courage to just outright ask them out, I don't think telling them how you feel is going to help, because if you just drop that bomb on them and say, hey, I like you, what do you think? You're going to be putting them on the spot. They're not going to know how to respond or know exactly what to say, because it's kind of an out of nowhere question. But if you do what I said and you flirt with them and you talk to them and you ask them to hang out, you spend one-on-one time together, you are building up towards you kind of confessing your feelings. And when you finally do confess your feelings after you spend time with them, that's when you're both at that top level and things are going to work out a lot better for you. Donna says, you can never go wrong with a cup of water and a banana. That's the key to becoming your better self. Thank you guys for coming to my TED Talk. Yep, bananas and water. Hydration and those vitamins. Ann's 3J says, hey Josh, I'm going on a date tomorrow and your vids really helped me. That's awesome, man. I'm happy they've been helpful for you. All right, guys. I want to ask another chat poll question here. I want to get your guys' perspective. I want every single person that's watching this live stream to answer. I know some of you are just passively watching and you're not participating in the chat. That's okay. But I want every single person to answer this question. I want you guys to let me know. Do you feel like you're prepared for the rest of this school year? Like you're ready to deal with the social aspect of it. You're ready to deal with the schoolwork aspect of it. You're ready to deal with dealing with your family and homework and tests, everything that's going to come this year. Do you feel like you're prepared for it? Some of you are already in school and you're getting into it, so you may feel a little bit more prepared. Some of you haven't started yet. You may not feel prepared, but I'm really curious to know how many of you feel like you're ready to tackle this year wholeheartedly. I want to know where you guys stand. Dude, I should do a TED Talk. I would love to do a TED Talk, Dono. That's one of my goals. One of my goals is to do a TED Talk. So one day you will definitely see me do a TED Talk. Promise you on that. I promise you. All right. I'm curious, guys. I asked you guys, do you feel prepared for this school year? And here's what you guys had to say. Steph says, hell no. A Gamer says no. Dono says, put the hands together there. Anthony says yes. Austin says not really. Red Lightning says hell no. Shane Hall says kind of, but my anxiety keeps getting in the way. Wolf Dog Wrestling says yes, I love school. Typhoon says oh hell nah. Dono says not in school, so sure. Sure, Dono, true. Emma, the message retracted there. Austin says I haven't started. Botzoid says yes, my confidence is at an all-time high. Awesome, man. Cheesy Boy says, nope, I'm more than capable for the social side. Not my 56 tests at the end of the year. Yeah, man. Those tests build up. It's really intense. Adam says, hell no. Matthew says, oh, hell yeah. So hell no, hell yeah. Nigel says, the family thing. Yep, Nigel, do you feel like your family is going to kind of put pressure on you as the school year goes on? Mr. Nostalgia says, not going to school, but starting work in 2 weeks, not prepared. Toronto at night. It's going to be difficult, but I'm all set. Awesome, man. Good. Happy you feel confident, ready. Ann says, no effing way. Phoenix says, yep, I plan out my days, so I feel good about the year. Awesome, Phoenix. Good to hear that, man. Abdurrahim says, yes, I feel I'm prepared, but I'm prepared for social life. Cool. So, yep, you feel like you got things together. Footy B says, I haven't started yet. Potato Boy says, yeah, I am. Giselle says, about if you're already confessed your feelings to your crush. So if you already confessed your feelings to your crush, what do you do? Giselle, I made an awesome video on that topic. Your crush knows you like them. What do you do? Check out that video. It'll kind of break down how to handle things from this point on. Yancey says, school, I'm already in school. I'm nervous. I hear you on that, Yancey. Cheyenne Hall says, if only I was Thanos. Stuart says, I'm ready to deal with the social aspect and extracurricular and some of the schoolwork. Cool, man, cool. Red Lightning says, bell ringing in the back room. Yeah, that's the church bell. It usually rings 5 minutes before the hour. So at 5:55, 6:55, I think it rings. It rings throughout the day. But yep, that's the church bell, guys. In fact, you know what? In honor of the bell you hear in the background, I want us to take a mindful 10 seconds here, guys. We're going to take 10 seconds to be mindful. I have my own meditation bell. And what we're going to do is I want to hit the bell and I want everyone to close their eyes for 10 seconds. You're going to take a deep breath. You're going to hold it and you're going to let it go. We're going to do that, guys. Just 10 seconds. It's mindfulness. For all of you guys that feel nervous or anxious right now about being in school, about the next year, take these 10 seconds for yourself. Okay, guys, you ready? Let's set the bell up. Let me do it here. Okay, let's warm it up. All right. I already feel calmer. I hope that 10-second break kind of helped bring down your nerves, guys. You know, one thing that I do want you guys to know is that if you do feel nervous about school and what's to come, you know, taking moments to breathe, taking moments to kind of step outside of the worry and to just say, I'm going to calm myself down for 10 seconds right now. I'm just going to breathe. Will really help kind of reset your system. You'll really notice that difference as you go forward because you're going to really start to feel, hey, you know what? It's calm, guys. It really is calm. Donna says, I feel like I'm watching a church ceremony. Yeah, the bells in the background sound like church, like a wedding going on or something. I got to figure out what song that is they're playing with the bells. Okay, we got about 4 minutes left on the stream, guys. If you haven't already hit the thumbs up, I like saying that. But one thing I want to point out, guys, is this too. As you're heading back into the school year, there is a resource that I've put together that I think would be super, super helpful for you. And that is my book, Embracing the Awkward. I've mentioned here before, mentioned it in the live stream before, but guys, I really think this book would be super helpful for you. It's a guide for teens to succeed at school, life, and relationships. And school is a big piece there because in this book, I talk a lot about my own experience in school, what it was like being in college and in high school, what it was like for me to fail classes and how I dealt with almost getting kicked out of college, how I figured out my path and my purpose in life. This book kind of covers a bit of my journey and also really dives deep into what you can do to figure out for yourself how you can kind of grow and learn, guys. So I think this book would be super, super helpful for you guys. Check it out. It's available on Amazon. If you go to thejoshspeaks.com/awkward, it'll take you to this book, or you could just search up the title Embracing the Awkward on Amazon and it'll pop up. We are almost at 1,000 books sold, which is really, really cool, guys. If you're someone that already has the book, by the way, I'm just going to say this, leave an Amazon review. We need more Amazon reviews. That's how people find it, how it shows up in search. Guys, check out the book. I think it'll be super helpful for you. All right. How much does it cost? Stuart is asking. So it depends. The price varies on Amazon. I believe right now the prices are around $12 or $13. It depends. Just go into Amazon and see. I don't control the pricing. The company that I did it with, Mango Publishing, does. But check it out, guys. It'll be a super, super helpful resource for you. I'm curious, did you guys find that meditation bell helpful? Because I want to tell you guys about a secret project I'm working on. I'm planning on putting together a meditation and mindfulness YouTube channel. It's going to be my own secret channel where the focus of it is going to be short meditations that you guys can listen to before you head into class, before you go into a job interview, before you talk to your crush, whenever your parents are fighting with each other, whenever you are struggling with depression or anxiety or nervousness. They're going to be short little meditations. I also have long form versions, but they're going to be shorter meditations that you guys can jump to and use as reference. I know some of you guys jump and watch my videos as well and like use that as like, oh, let me get into the mindset, watch a Josh video. These meditations are going to be available for you too, and they're going to be serve that same purpose. So that's kind of the secret project I'm thinking about and working on. So I hope hopefully that's going to be helpful for you guys. But you guys are saying that feels better. That was great. I feel refreshed. I feel better. That was refreshing. Yeah, guys. Yes, it felt refreshing. Awesome, guys. I'm happy that was helpful for you. All right, I'm going to answer 2 more questions. Let's get 2 more questions on here. Before I wrap it out, guys, Liam says, hey, Josh, I've been texting a girl for a while, but I've never really been able to get close to her one-on-one. She now said to me it's taken too long and she's kind of over it, but I'm not. Liam, I totally get where you're coming from on that. So I did a video all about kind of the texting bell curve here where you're texting someone, you're getting to know them, but there's a point that's reached where if you don't take texting and turn that into hanging out in person, well, then they just kind of fall off, right? They feel like, this person's never going to ask me to hang out. Now, it sounds like the girl is at that point where she feels like you're never going to ask her to hang out. I think a simple solution to that is now, like not this moment right now, but now as soon as you can, the next time you see her in person, ask her to hang out. Make plans to hang out. You need to make that transition because if you keep texting and that's where you keep it, it's going to fall apart. Check out my texting videos. I really break that down and I break down the methodology behind that. So watch those videos. I think it'll be helpful. All right. Final question here, guys. Matthew Jackson says, I should do Meditation Friday. I should do Meditation Friday. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe those meditation videos will go up on Fridays. Matthew Jackson says, there's no attractive girls in my school, and I feel I'm ready for a relationship. I find it hard meeting people. What should I do? That's a good question, Matthew. No attractive girls in your school. You're ready for a relationship, but it's hard for you to meet people. What do you do? Guys, if you're going back into school or you're already in school, starting a relationship is something you may want to do, right? You might want to pursue your crush. You might want to ask someone out. You know, you have a lot of goals built around that. Getting a girlfriend, getting a boyfriend, being with someone. I totally get you on that. Now, if there's no attractive girls in your school, I think that you may have to shift your perspective here and stop leading with, oh, am I attracted to them immediately? Because more so than likely, there are probably girls at your school that once you get to know, you're going to really start to realize, wow, they actually are attractive. And maybe I didn't notice that before. There's something different about them that makes them really attractive. So really, really try to shift that perspective and focus instead on, I'm going to start talking to more people. I'm going to start initiating conversations. I'm going to start really putting myself out there, guys. I think that's going to be the key, guys. The key is going to be, if you feel like you want to start to change your outlook and change your perspective and your outcome here, and the things that happen to you at the beginning of the school year, especially when it comes to dating, start small conversations with anyone that you can, guys. Practice talking to people whenever you get the chance. That's going to help you build that confidence and get more comfortable when the time comes for you to approach someone that you really, really like. Trust me on this, guys. I wish I knew this back when I was in school. I was so afraid to talk to so many girls that I liked because I just didn't know what to talk to them about, or I didn't know how to start the conversation. And it's like if I only had practice, if I only just started talking to more people and just got into the habit of it, it would have been so much easier for me later on. It's not something I did. It's something I regret not doing. It's something I want you guys to not make that same mistake. Dono's saying, just do it. Just don't let your dreams be dreams. Just do it. Exploit says, I just came from your birthday video. Awesome, Exploit. Thanks for being here. I'm happy to have you. Guys, if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up on this video. Thank you so much for being a part of this live stream. I hope the questions that I answered here were helpful for you guys. I want to thank you guys so much for being involved in this conversation thread. I saw a bunch of you guys answering each other and helping each other out, and that's what this is all about. The Josh Speaks is really all about a community. It's about people working together to help one another be our best selves, because you know, you can lift yourself up, but you're stronger when you have people that are around you that are supportive and helpful and are willing to cheer you on as you succeed. And that's really what I want to exist here, guys. Anthony's been sharing the link a bunch of times here. The Discord is available. That's our online community. We're well over 200, I believe. Anthony, do you remember how many people are in the Discord at this point? I think it's 200 and something at this point. There's awesome community in there, guys. Lots of different boards on music and dating and school, and a venting board and a debate board and a food board, a bunch of a drawing board. Lots and lots of fun things going on there, guys. Check out the Discord. Dono has released the bananas. The bananas have been released, guys. Thank you so much for being a part of this live stream. I'm going to put the timestamps up after so you guys can check it out a little bit later. Thank you guys for being a part of this. Head on over to Instagram. Join me on Instagram, the Josh Speaks on Instagram, guys. I'm going to jump over. We're going to do our Instagram after party. So on that note, guys, I will catch you guys next time. As always, love and peace. See you guys then. Bye. How do I end it from here? Oh, this button over here. See you guys. Bye. I had to click it twice to end it.